June 2026 brought heartbreaking losses as beloved celebrities left the world forever. Let's starting our video. Marios Oikonomou was born on October 6, 1992 in Ioannina, Greece, and became known as a strong and talented central defender who played for clubs across Greece, Italy, and Denmark. He began his professional career with PAS Giannina before earning moves to famous teams including Cagliari, Bologna, Sampdoria, AEK, Athens, and Copenhagen, where he won the Danish league title. Oikonomou also proudly represented the Greek national team and earned 6 international caps during his career. After retiring from football in 2024, he returned to his hometown and stayed close to the sport he loved. In May 2026, tragedy struck when he suffered a devastating motorcycle accident in Ioannina, causing severe brain injuries. Despite emergency surgery and days in intensive care, Marios Oikonomou passed away on June 1, 2026, at the age of 33, leaving the football world in shock and sadness while fans and former clubs honored his kindness, professionalism, and passion for the game. Sonny Rollins was born on September 7, 1930, in Harlem, New York, and became one of the greatest jazz musicians in history, known as the saxophone colossus. His powerful tenor saxophone sound and fearless improvisation changed modern jazz forever. During the 1950s and 1960s, he worked with legends like Miles Davis, John Coltrane, and Thelonious Monk while creating classic albums such as Saxophone Colossus and The Bridge. Rollins also battled addiction early in life, but fought back through discipline, spirituality, and music. He famously practiced for hours on the Williamsburg Bridge to perfect his art and inspire generations of musicians. After a career spanning more than 6 decades, Sonny Rollins passed away on May 25, 2026 at the age of in Woodstock, New York, leaving behind a timeless legacy as one of jazz's greatest icons. Kelly Lee Curtis was born on June 17, 1956 in Santa Monica, California, as the eldest daughter of Hollywood legends Tony Curtis and Janet Lee, and the older sister of Jamie Lee Curtis. She followed her famous family into acting and appeared in movies and television shows including Trading Places, Magic Sticks, The Devil's Daughter, and Star Trek: Deep Space Nine. Beyond acting, she also worked behind the scenes as an assistant and documentary filmmaker. While living a quieter life away from Hollywood fame, Kelly was remembered for her love of family, nature, music, travel, and her warm personality, which made her beloved by relatives and friends. On May 30, 2026, Kelly Lee Curtis passed away peacefully at her home in Idaho at the age of 69 after spending her final days in hospice care. Her sister Jamie Lee Curtis shared an emotional tribute, calling Kelly her first friend and lifelong confidant, while fans around the world honored her legacy and connection to one of Hollywood's most famous families.
If you like my video, then I can also provide you digital or other online services. So I am sharing a group link in description below.
Joe Negri was born on June 1, 1926 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and became a beloved jazz guitarist, teacher, and television personality whose career lasted more than 7 decades. He gained national fame for playing the friendly music shop owner Handyman Negri on the children's television classic Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, where his warm smile and gentle presence made him unforgettable to generations of viewers. Beyond television, he was also a respected jazz musician who performed with many famous artists and taught music at universities in Pittsburgh, inspiring countless young musicians. Negri remained active in music well into his later years and was celebrated as one of Pittsburgh's cultural treasures. Joe Negri passed away peacefully on May 30, 2026 at the age of 99, surrounded by family and friends, leaving behind a lasting legacy in jazz music education and children's television, where his kindness and talent touched millions of lives. Kenji Oba was born on February 5, 1955 in Matsuyama, Japan, and became one of the most legendary stars in Japanese tokusatsu history. Before business, he worked as a stunt performer and suit actor for action series before rising to stardom as Battle Kenya in Battle Fever J and Denzi Blue in Denshi Sentai Denziman. He achieved worldwide fame in 1982 as Retsu Ichijuji, also known as Gavan in Space Sheriff, Gavan becoming an icon of Japanese science fiction and action television. Oba was admired for his athletic, fighting style, charisma, and dedication to stunt work, and he later appeared in films including Kill Bill, Volume 1, After battling health problems for several years, Kenji Oba passed away on May 6, 2026 at the age of 71 following a long illness, leaving behind a powerful legacy that inspired generations of tokusatsu fans around the world. Matt Brown was born on September 7, 1983, and became widely known as the eldest son on the Discovery Channel reality series, Alaskan Bush People, which followed the Brown family's off-grid wilderness lifestyle in Alaska and Washington. Matt quickly became one of the show's most recognizable faces because of his adventurous spirit, humor, and survival skills. Behind the scenes, however, he struggled for years with addiction and mental health challenges, which eventually led him to leave the series in 2019 to focus on recovery and rebuilding his life. Despite personal hardships, many fans admired his honesty about sobriety and his efforts to inspire others facing similar battles. In late May 2026, Matt Brown was reported missing and was later found deceased in the Okanogan River in Washington on May 30th, 2026 at the age of 42. His family shared emotional tributes, remembering him as a talented outdoorsman, creative soul, and deeply loved brother whose life touched many people around the world. If you like my video, then I can also provide you digital or other online services. So, I am sharing a group link in description below. Jerry Gray was an American professional wrestler known as Golden Boy who competed during the 1980s in regional wrestling promotions in the United States, including Florida Wrestling and Mid-South Wrestling, where he worked as a steady mid-card and tag team competitor. And he also gained experience in international wrestling in Japan. During his career, he became known for his hardworking style and consistent performances, and after the territorial wrestling era, he moved into independent wrestling, where he worked as a promoter and trainer and helped develop younger talent for many years. In his later life, he reportedly faced a long illness, including cancer, which affected his health over time, and he is reported to have passed away in May 25th, 2026 at the age of 62, leaving behind a reputation as a dedicated and respected journeyman in professional wrestling. Jose Calzada Salazar was a veteran Mexican lucha libre wrestler known in the ring as Piloto Calzada and El Piloto Suicida, born in 1969 in northern Mexico, and he built a long career in independent wrestling circuits, becoming known for his high-flying and risky aerial style, especially in northern Mexico arenas. And on May 25, 2026, during a live wrestling event at Arena Internacional in Ciudad Juárez, he suffered a fatal accident when he attempted a top rope dive to the outside of the ring but landed on the concrete floor and hit his head, causing a broken neck and instant death at the age of 56. And his passing shocked the wrestling community across Mexico and led to tributes from fans and fellow wrestlers across the lucha libre world. If you like my video, then I can also provide you digital or other online services. So, I am sharing a group link in description below. Fred Curry was an American professional wrestler born on June 12, 1943 in Hartford, Connecticut, and he became one of the most popular high-flying stars of the 1960s and 1970s, competing in major NWA territories and winning multiple tag team championships, while teaming with legends like Fritz von Erich, Tony Marino, and even his father Wild Bull Curry. And he was famous for his fast drop kicks and aerial style, which made him one of the early pioneers of high-flying wrestling in the United States. And after retiring from active competition, he lived a quiet life away from the spotlight until he died on April 3rd, 2026, at the age of 82, leaving behind a legacy as one of wrestling's early innovators and respected second-generation performers. Abdullah Movahed was born on March 20th, 1940 in Babulsar, Iran, and became one of the greatest freestyle wrestlers in history. He won 5 world championship gold medals and captured the Olympic gold medal for Iran at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics. Movahed was respected for his amazing technique, strength, and discipline, and he inspired many young wrestlers across the world. After retiring from wrestling, he lived in the United States and stayed connected to the sport for many years. Abdullah Movahed died on April 30th, 2026 in Fairfax, Virginia, after suffering a heart attack at the age of 86, and fans around the world remembered him as a true wrestling legend whose legacy will never be forgotten. DJ Pringle, whose real name was Daniel Moody, was born in 1986 in Mobile, Alabama, and was the son of legendary WWE manager Paul Bearer He followed his father into professional wrestling and competed on the independent wrestling scene across the Gulf Coast while becoming known for his passion and love for the business. Fans respected him for carrying on the Moody family wrestling legacy and for his connection to classic wrestling history. DJ Pringle died on March 23, 2026 at the age of 39 after suffering a major health crisis. Following a medical procedure, and his death brought sadness across the wrestling world, as many remembered him as a kind person and dedicated wrestler whose legacy will always be connected to his famous family. Dennis Condrey was born on February 1st, 1950 in Florence, Alabama, and became one of the most respected tag team wrestlers in professional wrestling history. He was best known as Loverboy Dennis Condrey and gained fame as a founding member of the Midnight Express alongside Bobby Eaton and manager Jim Cornette. During the 1970s and 1980s, he helped change tag team wrestling with his smart ring style, tough attitude, and legendary rivalries against teams like the Rock and Roll Express. Fans admired his skill, and many wrestlers later called him one of the greatest tag team performers ever. Dennis Condrey died on March 20, 2026 in Huntsville, Alabama, after suffering severe injuries from a fall at his home, and he was remembered around the wrestling world as a true pioneer whose legacy will continue for generations. Frankie Kane was born as James Alt on August 13, 1932 in Columbus, Ohio, and became one of the smartest and most respected minds in professional wrestling history. He became famous as the Great Mephisto and also as Inferno No. 1 in the legendary tag team The Infernos during the 1960s and 1970s. Kane was known for his intense style, creative ideas, and unforgettable villain character that made fans either fear him or cheer against him. Everywhere he wrestled, he helped train and inspire many future wrestling stars and remained respected long after retirement. Frankie Kane died on February 2, 2026, at the age of 93, and the wrestling world remembered him as a legendary performer and brilliant wrestling mind whose legacy will never fade. Johnny Legend was born as Martin Margulies on October 3, 1948 in San Fernando, California, and became known for his wild personality in music, movies, and professional wrestling. He worked as a wrestling manager, promoter, actor, and rockabilly singer and gained cult fame after helping create the wrestling film My Breakfast with Blassie with Andy Kaufman and Freddie Blassie. Johnny also created Incredibly Strange wrestling during the 1990s and became respected for bringing creativity and entertainment to independent wrestling. Johnny Legend died on January 2, 2026 in Newport, Oregon at the age of 77 after complications from a stroke and heart failure, and fans remembered him as one of wrestling's most unique and unforgettable personalities. Rick Link was born on February 28, 1959, in Lexington, North Carolina, and became a respected professional wrestler during the territory wrestling era of the 1970s and 1980s. He wrestled under names like Man Mountain Link and Me B and became famous for his powerful size, tough style, and memorable rivalry with Jerry the King Lawler in Memphis Wrestling. Link competed in many promotions, including NWA, Georgia Championship Wrestling, and Stampede Wrestling, and later helped train younger wrestlers in the independent scene. After battling serious kidney problems and entering hospice care, he died on January 14, 2026, at the age of 66, and wrestling fans remembered him as a hardworking, old-school star who gave nearly 50 years of his life to professional wrestling. T.C. Reynolds, whose real name was Thomas Clayton Reynolds, was born in 1958 in Tennessee and became a respected professional wrestler on the independent wrestling scene during the 1980s and 1990s. He was known for his tough old-school wrestling style and worked in several regional promotions across the southern United States where fans appreciated his dedication and passion for the business. Reynolds spent many years helping younger wrestlers improve and remained connected to wrestling even after stepping away from regular competition. T.C. Reynolds died on January 21st, 2026 at the age of 69 after battling long-term health problems, and many people in the wrestling community remembered him as a loyal performer who loved wrestling until the end of his life. Bob Boyer was born on September 25, 1932 in Toronto, Canada, and became a respected professional wrestler during the golden era of wrestling. He was best known for wrestling as Bobby Bold Eagle and gained popularity in the World Wrestling Association and early WWF during the 1960s and 1970s. Boyer was admired for his toughness, athletic skill, and Native American wrestling character. that made him a memorable star for many fans across North America. After retiring from wrestling in 1987, he stayed connected to the wrestling world and remained respected by old school fans and fellow wrestlers. Bob Boyer died on January 4, 2026 at his home in Zionsville, Indiana at the age of 93, and many remembered him as one of the hardworking legends of classic professional wrestling. Scott Renwick was born in 1985 in Livingston, Scotland, and became a respected professional wrestler known across the British wrestling scene as the Butcher. He began wrestling in 2005 and won many championships during his career while becoming famous for his tough style, strong personality, and tag teamwork with Killian Dane in Britain's Most Wanted. Renwick also helped train younger wrestlers and earned respect for being a loyal friend and mentor outside the ring. Scott Renwick died on April 7th, 2026 at the age of 41, and tributes poured in from wrestlers and fans across Scotland who remembered him as not only a talented champion but also a kind and unforgettable person whose impact on Scottish wrestling will never be forgotten. Bobby Duncombe Sr. was born on August 14th, 1944 in Austin, Texas, and became one of the toughest wrestlers of the 1970s and 1980s. He played college football before entering professional wrestling and became famous for his cowboy image, powerful brawling style, and tag team matches in NWA and other major territories. Fans remembered him for his rivalries against top stars and for helping make Southern wrestling popular during the territory era. Bobby Duncombe Sr. later inspired his son Bobby Duncombe Jr. to follow wrestling as well. He died on January 24th, 2026 at the age of 81 after long health complications, and many wrestling fans honored him as a rugged old school legend whose name will always be remembered in professional wrestling history. If you like my video, then I can also provide you digital or other online services. So I am sharing a group link in description below. Jan Wilkins was born on December 20th, 1943, in South Africa and became one of the most respected figures in South African professional wrestling history. He rose to fame during the 1960s and 1970s with a strong technical style and powerful physique that made him a dominant competitor in the ring. Wilkins was a multiple-time heavyweight champion in South African promotions and became known for his classic rivalries that helped grow wrestling popularity in the region. He also trained and influenced younger wrestlers who followed in his footsteps and kept the sport alive locally. Jan Wilkins died on April 19th, 2026 at the age of 85 after age-related health issues, and he was remembered as a pioneering legend of South African wrestling, whose legacy continues to inspire future generations.